While I was making my breakfast video, I actually realized that I had a lot of bread, and here in the South, I'm not sure if it's everywhere else because I've never left the South, but here in the South, we tend to use old bread to make bread pudding. And the bread pudding recipe is very simple. I will have it listed in the description and I'll describe it briefly here. You cut up bread into cubes or you can pull it apart. You don't have to cut it up. I use kitchen scissors myself. Any kind of bread works, but the muffin breads that have the fruit pieces in it, like blueberry swirl bagels and stuff like that, those are really good to add in there. Brioche is amazing in bread pudding. It's amazing as French toast. So experiment with what types of breads you have and what flavors, and that's the best part about bread pudding is very versatile. But the basic recipe is 6 slices of day old bread, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 cups of milk, 4 large eggs. I use 3. I don't think it needs 4. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The type of milk you can experiment with. Sometimes I've used coffee creamer, sometimes I use heavy cream, sometimes I use regular milk. You can experiment with that as well. And the types of extracts you add to it. For example, you could use maple extract or vanilla or make an orange flavored bread pudding. It's super versatile. I highly recommend starting at the basic first and then seeing what you have around the house the next time the bread's starting to get stale. Leave the bread out all day, open if you can, maybe with a towel over it if you can't, on the counter and let it get crispy. They call it stale, but let it get that way and then put the custard on it that you're making and then let it soak it up for a good hour, 2 hours, preferably overnight in the refrigerator covered with foil. And then you can add fruit pieces to it. I had raisins. You don't have to add those to them. And I also had date pieces. So I'm trying that today. Raisins and date pieces. So go ahead and melt 2 tablespoons of butter after you've let your bread sit out all day. Pour that around the pan of your cubed bread. And then you're going to make that custard and pour it in with it. I already have it pre-made and mixed here. Again, the recipe will be in the description. Make sure it's just slightly above the bread, not too much. You don't want it too soggy. Let it get really soaked in there. If you feel like you made too much custard, just cut up some more bread. But let that sit for a whole day. And then put it in the oven for, I think it's an hour at 350. I'll confirm for you.